This is a VHF tract and this is a UHF tract. That means we could actually potentially just replace them with BFU 550 AR, and we are going to improve sensitivity. TDA 2822G, we could potentially do a sound mode in here. EEPROM chip, it is BL24C64A. MCU or the CPU of this radio. The display itself is glued to a metal piece, this metal piece on both sides. To disassemble the thing, you have to, how you guys doing? So today we have an unboxing video of TIDRADIO H3. Here is the front of the box, I mean the top, and on the bottom it says, it gives you two links, TIDRADIO.com and walkietalkiesoftware.com. And on the front it gives you color of the radio. So let me open up this radio with you right now. We have instruction manual, we have plastic business card. It gives you basically customer support, Facebook and WhatsApp number, and on the back it gives you a link to that site again, walkietalkiesoftware.com, where you can get user's manual, program software, product operation video. We have antenna. Let's compare this to Kwangshank antenna. So Kwangshank, and this is this antenna. It's a bit longer. You see it? Let's see how this antenna looks on Kwangshank. Nice. So we have a USB programming cable, USB Type-C. We have a charging station, and it's also Type-C, which is nice. Input DC 5 volt, 2000 milliamps. Output DC 5 volts, 500 milliamps. We have a linear. And over here we have a belt clip. I'm going to install it in a moment. We have a charger type A, what it says here, output 5 volts, 2 amps. I think I could test it, we'll test it later. And we have the radio itself with a battery. Now guys, on my table I have another video laying. Let me show it to you. Over here we have another modification for Kwangshank. It's disassembled. We have a battery box and we have 18650 elements. And when we are done with this particular mode for Kwangshank, that being a different video, our radio is going to have this battery box with extended batteries for extra long life. And the thing is that this H3 it does not need this mode because it already has from factory this battery mode with 18650 elements. You see, it has two of this from the factory, which is real nice. Let's see what it says on the battery under microscope so you can see better. Let's read the sticker. So lithium ion model BP3, voltage 7.4, capacity 2500 milliamps. If we could disassemble this battery pack, we could possibly upgrade it, make it even larger, and just replace the elements. So let's come back and let's turn this radio on. So here we have a Guangshank, and here we have a hero of our today's video, the TIDRADIO H3. Check them out. Now H3 is both a little bit less taller, smaller, right, on height, and a little bit less width, but as far as the girth, it is a little bit bulkier on the backside. Weight wise, this radio weighs more, but I think that's because of batteries. So let's turn this thing on for the first time. Welcome. Let's see what the menu looks like. I mean the main screen, not the menu. So if I want to enter frequency 145.5, 145.00, it's pretty self-explanatory. Guys, I think antenna is good, right? But we have modified things. I think since this is his debut on this channel, he deserves modified antenna. So let's install modified antenna onto him. Let's see how it looks with a modified antenna. I like it. So impressions right off the bat is that H3 is much more ergonomic in your hand, whereas Guangshank, it's not bulky, guys, the Guangshank, but when you compare it to H3, it's obviously larger. So this H3 sits really nice in your hand. H3 has two PTT buttons, guys. Basically one PTT and second PTT is right here, and one function button. Flashlight. Oh, this is bright. This radio has flashlight. I don't think it's going to show on video, but the flashlight LED, check this out. Check this out. The Guangshank is just a regular LED, but on the H3 it's much larger. On H3, guys, LED is the size of the SMA connector. When we install the SMA connector onto our radios, right, it's the same size. Let me show it to you. Oh boy, how do I do this? There you go. So we got the SMA, right? The LED is the same size. Check this out. Nice. But the radio is not about LEDs on flashlights. So let's continue. What about the long press? Okay, so the long press on the function key is monitor. And here we have USB for programming and Kenwood connector for programming, or the what do you call it, the thing that you hold in your hand. On the back we have a charging port, USB Type-C on the battery. so we can charge the battery separately in the charging station, or we can feed it type C from the USB. So let's come back and let's go over the features of this radio. So we are in PDF. Let me remove my microscope and side camera. We don't need them. This is the official document, so let's read it. It comes in different colors. I have a black one, but it also comes in green and clear case. It's type C programming inside port. We seen that. I showed you type C. There is two type C's, one on the side for programming and one on the bottom in the battery for charging. Type C charging in the bottom port, yes, 8-band receive, but that's with stack firmware. I already know that with modified firmware receive is much more. Dual PTT button, okay, 3 modes, ham, GMRS normal. Let me elaborate on that one. So if we turn off our radio, if we push PTT and push start at the same time and turn on the radio, it's going to give us this menu, ham, GMRS and normal. Normal is all frequencies are open. Ham is just the ham frequencies are open, and GMRS is GMRS frequencies are open. I'm not sure about the power levels in GMRS, but let's select 3 and click menu for confirm, because I want my radio to be open on all frequencies. So let's go back to PDF. We have wireless frequency copy, okay, just like in Guangshank. I never use that feature, but I guess that could be useful. DTMF remote locking and DTMF call. DTMF call, I know what that is. Remote locking, I'm not sure. NOAA, we don't have NOAA weather in Russia, but for those of you living in United States, that could be a useful thing to have. Supports firmware update, yes it does. So power is 5 watts, but it has 3 power modes, high, mid and low. Battery capacity is 2500 milliamps. Battery life with 5590 duty cycle. I would guess that's the most power saving cycle that there is in firmware, about 48 hours, which could be useful if you are going hunting, because you don't need high power modes. Usually your hunting partner is going to be like no more than a couple of miles from you. Screen is 1.4 inch, colorful. Dimensions 102, 51, 30. It tells you nothing, but basically it's very compact. It's much more compact than the Guangshank. Guangshank is compact, but if you hang it on your belt, it's kind of clumsy and bulky. And this radio is really nice. You can put it in your pocket or you can hang it on your belt clip. It's much more ergonomic, much more carry friendly, if we can say that. So let's go back. Weight is 228 grams. 8-band receiving, 2-band transmitting, but again that is modifiable with custom firmware. So from the factory, AM receiving on 108, 136, so it has air band. FM 5076 and 76 108. UHF 400, 470 and 470 600. 470 600 receive only. VHF 136 174 TX-RX 174 350 RX only. I know that is modifiable because this radio could be used for SATCOM reception and transmission. 350 400 RX only. I would guess that's also modifiable through firmware, through custom firmware. Advanced programming methods. So we have Bluetooth programming. Let me show it to you guys. So I have already app installed on my iPhone. What I do here is turn on the radio and I press this blue button, menu button, until I see Bluetooth icon. Bluetooth icon is over there, just came up. So I open my iPhone and launch the app, and here I click on program, click on connect Bluetooth. I select this device, the H3. It connected. I select model, TIDRADIO H3, and I click read, and it's reading right from the radio, right on my iPhone. No, I'm sorry. So it's read it, and here I could change channels. I could select all the channels I have. It has maximum of 199 channels, and I could also change functions of the radio, program channels, change functions, and then I could write it on the radio via my iPhone, which is nice, guys. It's not much useful if you go to forest hunting and stuff, because you're not gonna take your iPhone with you, but it's nice to have, because if you go to the beach or the river, probably you're gonna take your iPhone with you. So let's continue with the PDF. Bluetooth programming, app and web. So I guess you can do it over your browser. I'm not sure. I haven't tried that. Type-C port programming using CPS or chirp. That's nice. So you don't need a Baofeng cable. Kenwood port programming. That's a Baofeng cable using CPS or chirp. H3 and H8 radios have built-in Bluetooth chip, no need to access additional programmer. Okay. One key frequency match. Catch frequency when transmitting by holding one, and the H3 radio can find and save the frequency at which another radio is transmitting. I'm eager to try this. Welcome. So let me put this to 433 150. So if I hold one, okay, I pressed one, check out what happens. It entered free catch scan frequency. So I'm gonna transmit 433 150, 123 123, and we got 433 150. It got transmitted frequency. Nice. So let's continue with the PDF. Wireless radio replication. Yeah, I guess some would find this feature useful, but I have not found that feature useful on Kwangshank, so I'm not using that feature, guys, but it is here. 3 unique functions: stun, kill, and revive, used in situations where the radio has been lost temporarily or stolen. Wow, let's read this. I'm sorry. If you have two H3 radios, please press star on one H3 radio to open DTMF. Enter the activation code of the H3 radio that you have set, then press PTT key to send and you can kill it. Okay, so you can send DTMF to another radio and kill it. Revive step, enter the activation code number and press the PTT key. Okay, so it has those features. There is another official pamphlet. Let's take a look at it. It's in picture. Just loaded it. So let's go to screen capture. So basically H3 versus other radios. Indicator, I mean the screen, 1.44 inch TFT color screen. Other radios are black and white screen. Well, mine is red and black. Bluetooth programming, that's nice feature to have. Type-C programming, also nice feature to have. Flashlight, F8 straw hat lamp. So it's a bigger LED. Battery 2500 milliamps, and I guess that this battery could be opened and modified. I'm not sure about that. We're gonna see. PTT, dual PTT. Some people might find this feature useful. Dimensions are very compact. AM aviation frequency reception, frequency meter mode, wireless radio replication, fast pair 1 channel, frog called tail sound. Yeah, it has a tail sounds. Let me show it to you. Let me find it in the menu. Okay, so it's set to tone 2 right now. Let's enter frequency 433 150. That's tone 2. Let's set it to tone 1. That's tone 1, and we can turn off all kinds of Roger tones. So what else we have on this pamphlet? Scrambling, that's a good feature to have. NOAA, good if you live in United States. Not so useful in Russia, we don't have a NOAA. So guys, that's nice what they write from the factory, but I would like to do a teardown this radio, because real functionality lies in hardware, and we gotta look at the board and see what kind of hardware it has. So let's come back and tear this thing down. So let's do a teardown. I already took the button off. I had to use my teeth to take it off. This is how Guangsheng looks with TIDRADIO H3 button. Really nice and compact. Smaller than Baofeng button that I had here. Let's put a Baofeng button onto TIDRADIO H3. No, it doesn't look good. It's not for this radio. So I'm gonna have to use my teeth to take it off from this radio as well. But that's later. So we have 2 hex screws on here. Let's take them off. And I want it to side. So We gotta take off the rings from the top here, I guess. I guess so. Or maybe not now. No boy. Maybe we do have to take them off, so let me take them off. Yeah, we have to take them off. So let's take off this one. And I don't need this tool. How about now? Oh, now it's coming off. Okay. So the speaker is on springs, it's spring loaded. You don't have to solder it. We can put this to the side, and on top here we have to take display off, guys. Now I heard that taking off display is kinda hard, so let me figure it out off camera and come back. So we are dealing here with one of those glued displays. I'm going to show you in a moment, but I checked the quality after disassembly. It actually comes out nicely without any scratches and stuff. So check this out. Basically, the display itself is glued to a metal piece. This metal piece on both sides. You see adhesive on this side, and there was adhesive on this side. To disassemble the sync, you have to apply heat to the LCD and carefully remove this adhesive, and thing that prevents you carefully removing the adhesive is this white film, which you see I damaged with heat. But anyway, it's complicated, guys. It's much more complicated to disassemble this thing than a Quang shank. So for the disassembly here, we are taking off the display. We're taking off this tape and removing the display from the connector. There is a connector here, which is nice. No soldering is needed to remove display, but to get to this connector you need some skills and a heat gun. Maybe you could do it with a hair dryer, but I'm not sure about that. So display is out. Let us set it aside, and now we're going to remove the screws. Let's remove this screw first. set aside. Does this metal piece want to come out or what? Yes, it's coming out. And we have more screws, so let's remove more screws. Like this is going to be easier. I'm a little bit blinded by the light from the microscope, so I'm like a blind bat right now. The screws appear to be the same length, which is nice. This one wasn't tight all the way. I dropped it. Gonna retrieve it in a moment. And these two bottom screws are tied in really tight. Yeah, I got one. So the board, I heard to remove this board you need to desolder the antenna connector, because the antenna connector is soldered in. So let me unscrew antenna connector. I'm not sure if I need to unscrew it, but I'm going to unscrew it anyway. And let me come here with an iron and just touch it. See it over here, microscope. It's soldered right here. It's a center pin, the antenna pin. So I'm gonna warm it up and I'm going to pull the board out. Like this is going to be nicer, I guess. So let me get a proper solder tip. Solder iron is on. Let me put some flux in here. I'm going to heat it up, this iron, and I'm going to pull out the board. Yeah, we got it. I got the board out. So check out how this connector is made. Guys, I dropped you, I'm sorry. Well, not the camera, but I dropped the microphone. Let's go on the microscope. So the connector is like this and it is soldered into the board. And I see a spring over here. You see a spring? Or is it? Oh, it's not a spring, it's a screw. The screw wasn't here, I thought it was a spring. So let's set this aside and let's take a look at the board. What do we see here? Let's come back and examine it. So right away here I noticed something. Check this out. We have these two amplifiers, I mean the LNAs. LNAs are the same as on Kwangshank UVK5. This is a VHF tract and this is a UHF tract. That means we could actually potentially just replace them with BFU 550 AR, and we are going to improve sensitivity, because each one of these LNAs has amplification of 9 decibels and the noise level is like 1.2 or something decibels. And BFU 550 AR is a direct replacement to one of these, right? And amplification is 18 decibels and noise level is only 0.6 decibels. Also, this coil looks similar to what we had on Guangshank. This one and this one, I bet they're the same on the VHF track, so potentially we can do a SATCOM mode. So that's the first thing I noticed right when I opened this thing up. But let's actually check out the chips that it have in here. So check out the MCU or the CPU of this radio. It's TA TA3782F, and when I googled this, I actually found this page. It's a GitHub page for TD-H3 engineering. No one knows about this MCU anything, guys. So let's see what the guy writes. Most of the components in this radio are well known off-the-shelf stuff. However, and that is true because I just looked and I recognized the LNAs. However, this TA3782F MCU is not, and there is practically no documentation for it. I initially believed this to be some MCU utilizing ARM Cortex M4 core, but now I'm almost convinced this is not the case. I'm leaning towards some kind of Intel 8051 MCU architecture, such as the AT89S51, P89V51RD2, or W78E05-2DDG, etc. This is providing some meaningful disassembly in EEPROM. I actually, guys, I emailed the TIDRADIO, and in our email communication I asked, are you going to release a firmware for this radio so we can implement perhaps some spectrum analyzer like in Guangshank? And they said that the firmware is intellectual property, they are not going to release it. So if this thing is Intel based, one of those, this intellectual property, we are not going to have source code for the firmware, and that means mods are going to be basic, like changing colors and stuff, changing battery meter to voltage indicator, but not like what we have on Guangshank. So that kind of sucks, guys. Let's see other chips. Let's see what other chips are. Up next to the MCU, at the very bottom, we have this chip right here. It is TDA2822G, and I found some information about it on ChipDeep. It's an audio amplifier, guys. Let's take a look. Well, you could take a look at datasheet actually. Does datasheet say anything interesting? So pin 1 is output 1, pin 3 is output 2, we got input pins 7 and 8. So it's a stereo amplifier. I don't see anything useful here. Let's go under microscope and explore potentially, because we could potentially do a sound mode in here to improve the sound. So pin, let me look at datasheet here. Pin 1 and pin 3, 1 and 3 are outputs. 1 and 3 are outputs. We gotta look at schematics here, draw something up, and then perhaps we can do sound mode. So that's a possibility, sound mode on this radio. Let's look at PDF one more time in the datasheet. Does it give us schematics in here? Yeah, it gives us some schematics, stereo or bridge. So potentially, yeah, we could do some more, guys, which is really nice. Let's go to the next chip. Up next we have this chip. It's EP2T45 F10E ZTB G2412 UML 391, and Google search did not give me any results on any of these guys. UML 391. No, I did not find anything on this chip, so let me take a photo of this chip. If you guys know what this chip is, let me know, because I have no idea what this thing is. Let me also take a photo of this MCU. MCU, if you want to take a photo of you, like this is good. So let me photo the MCU and let me photo the sound chip as well while I'm in here taking pictures. Guys, all the pictures I am going to include in the description. So this chip, it's you see, it receives a clock 24 megahertz and got some legs here going somewhere. Yeah, man, I have no idea what this thing is. What else do we have here? I have something over here, and this is, let me look it up and come back with you. This chip, guys, is LM2904P. We have a data sheet. We have a product page actually before data sheet. It is operational amplifier, and the data sheet is this. I do not know what this chip does, but I would guess is some sort of sound amplifier, which is kind of strange because we just looked at the sound amplifier over here, so I have no idea what this thing does. Let me know if you know what this chip does, and we are going to come back and look at this chip. And this chip, guys, is CH340N. Basically, it is USB to UART, guys. If you have a Baofeng cable like this, this chip is what connects your USB into UART. And here we have a USB Type-C port right next to it, right in here. So this chip converts this USB into UART, so that you can use your USB to program your radio and not just Kenwood connector. Up next, guys, we have here, let's come back and take a look. Yeah, we have here BK4890, same chip that we have on our Guangshank. In fact, let me double check just with you. If I turn on my Quangshank, I click this F key and select here radio, I could select the first radio that comes up. The default one is BK4819. So that's a chip that is used on our Quangshank radios. Let's explore further. Let's come back and take a look at the next chip. I just looked at previous segment and realized that our side camera did not pick up the menu for the Quangshank. So check this out. I turn it on, I press the F key, and here first menu item is radio. You see it? Radio. So I select radio, and here I given options. First one is BK4819. BK4819, which is the beacon chip in the Quangshank, the main one. Up next is BK1080, which is FM chip, and the next one is SI4732, which is the modded FM chip. So that's what I want to show you. That's a reborn, by the way. And up next on our board we have the 5809M chip, which a quick Google search gave me this. This is RDA 5807M, which is FM tuner. It goes from 50 megahertz up to 115 megahertz. With a step between channels 200 kilohertz, 100 kilohertz, 50 kilohertz, and 25 kilohertz. It supports RDS and RBDS, but the TIDRADIO H3 does not have these functions in the firmware. High quality ACP, I'm not sure how it translates. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff in Russian. On this side there are no more chips, guys. Nothing else we can look at. So let's do a quick overview from above and flip the board. I'm in focus. How about you? MCU beacon, operational amplifier LM2904B. I do not know what this chip, what the function of this chip is. We have the sound chip right here. This is audio amplifier. I do not know what this chip is, what it does, but it has a separate clock for it. Here we have beacon with 26 megahertz clock. Guys, well, for this chip I could guess this EEPROM, but I'm not sure. We will have to look it up. Then we have the CH340N, that's for a converter from USB to TTL. Then we have the FM chip right here. And that's all she wrote. That's all we have on this side. And here we have two LNAs, and this transistor is for transmit, I guess, and this one, this transistor, no, this is a power transistor. This is going to be for charging, and this one is for transmission. So let's flip the board and explore chips on this side. So on this side, guys, we have what looks to be EEPROM chip. It is BL24C64A. So my guess that this chip is EEPROM. No, that's wrong guess. I do not know what this chip is. I'm yet to find out what it is. So this BL24C64A EEPROM. Let's take a look at datasheet for it. And we have 64 kilobits 64 kilobits is 8 kilobytes of EEPROM. I do not know if we could possibly do EEPROM mode on this radio, because if you do EEPROM, if you change EEPROM, right, you have to firmware have to support it, and we do not have source code for firmware. So how is firmware going to support EEPROM? So I think we are stuck on this radio with 8 kilobyte EEPROM, unless TIDRADIO decides to release the source code, give it to us, and then we can do something about EEPROM. So up next, guys, we have this chip. The marking is really faint, but it is GT21L, and next line is 16S2Y, further 24. Let me take a picture just in case, but I found this chip online, and the chip is available on AliExpress. Well, it is out of stock, but information is there. It is GT21L16S2Y. We have no more information on AliExpress. I did not find a data sheet, but if we do Google search, it says font chips. It has, I guess, something to do with the font displayed on the display. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm not sure what this, guys, font chip, what it could be. Do we have a data sheet? If we have, that's good. Yeah, we have no data sheet. Guys, let me know what this chip is, because I'm not sure what it is. Manufacturer is got up. This is the part number and description: 12 by 12, 16 by 16, GB 2312, Unicode, 15 megahertz, so paid font chips. Font chip, guys. So let's do the next chip. So up next we have this audio K244. I do not know what it is. There is no information about it on Google, but I believe this to be a chip that is responsible for when you press the key, it says in voice 1, 2, 3, something like that, in English and Chinese. I believe that's what this chip is. Let's do next chip. And there is no next chip, guys. We did all the chips. So let's do overview from the top of the front. So this is supposed to be a font chip. This is supposed to be audio chip that is responsible for speech. This EEPROM. Here we have a adjustment part. I do not know what this does. Speaker, Bluetooth, guys. This is a Bluetooth antenna, and on the other side we have this chip. So this probably is a Bluetooth chip, most likely, because we have Bluetooth antenna right on our side. If we go up, we have a backlight for the keyboard, so we can do backlight change to a different color. Here we have protective film underneath display, and here we have this transistor for MOSFET. Let me take a picture. Yeah, so that's all about the front. Bluetooth, audio amplifier, MCU, some kind of a op amp. I'm not sure what this does. Maybe it amplifies the microphone. Why would it need to amplify the microphone? I'm not sure, guys, about this one. This USB to TTL beacon, 24 megahertz, 26 megahertz LNAs here, and this is FM chip right here, transmitter amplifier. Yeah, that's all it is, guys. So now I guess I put it back together and we draw a conclusion for this video. Backlight of this LCD has 2020 LEDs. The color is white, and if we change it, I'm not sure what's gonna be affected. I guess the white letters become whatever color we change it to, but this display does not need a backlight mode like we did on K5. It's Guangshank. And we in like Flynn, guys, and it's turning on. Display is lighting. I'm talking about these white letters, right? So if we change the backlight to, let's say, red, these letters are going to light up in red, and you can change that color of these letters anyway, letters and numbers, so there is no point in doing that. And I have 2 screws and 2 rings, so let me install 2 screws and 2 rings and let me come back. Battery cannot be disassembled. It was welded together during assembly using ultrasound welder, so you can't even cut. I mean, you can cut it, but putting it back together, it's not going to be as nice as this now. So someone would have to 3D scan this battery and come up with a design so that we can upgrade the elements and make it last longer. Let's go over interface. These numbers you see at the top, 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, power, that's a power level indicator. When you transmit, it is going to display a red bar which will correspond to the output power. Right now it's between 2 and 3. Power setting is low. I am transmitting, so it's outputting about 2, maybe a little bit change watts. If I set power to, let's say, high, now you're gonna see that red bar when I transmit go all the way to 5 watts. Then we have some icons like on the phone, that be your reception level right here. H is transmit power, high right now. W is BW, right now it is wide. And then we have a frequency, and below frequency we have channel number and some icons. I'm not going to go over icons. In this rectangle we have basically VF4 and channel mode. We can change that to VF4, you see, or channel, or VF4 back to VF4. And we can go from A to B by pressing AB button. It has dual PTTs, so we don't have to go A to B, just press the corresponding PTT. And where it says off, that's for CTSS codes or DCS, etc. Right now it has no codes, so it says off. Let's put some code on so that you can see for yourselves. So let's put RX CTCSS to 67. Come on, let's put to 71. Oh, it doesn't. Okay. So I'm an airband, that's why it doesn't want to do it. So off, I'm receiving. It's going to show CT, so that there is a CT code. Let's put a TX code. That was a TX code, so let's put an RX code. So receiving, it says there is a CT code. It doesn't show which one, but it says that there is a CT code. So let's switch to VF4A. No CTs, no CT code, so it just says off. So let's say you want some excitement, you want to change the firmware. We have some options. First of all, the program, similar to K5 WinProg, for this radio, the program is called TD-H3 IAP, and there are several firmware available on GitHub, 2 to be exact. That's UMod, and the other one is Nicksure. I've tried both firmwares. They have both pluses and minuses. I think UMod is a little bit more fancier. It looks like this. So let me put it on and come back. So I installed the firmware. Let me show it to you. We have a few more extra menu options, and display looks different, and that's about it with the firmware. That is because, guys, there is no source code for the TIDRADIO H3, for the firmware of TIDRADIO H3. Manufacturer chose not to release it. Unlike with Kwangshank UVK5, firmware got released, or it got leaked. So that's why there is a small choice of firmwares. I strongly believe if manufacturer releases firmware or leaks firmware, sales of this radio are going to double, maybe triple, maybe quadruple. It's going to be a lot more successful. From hardware modes, guys, we have we can do sensitivity mode. That's one. We can do SATCOM mode. That's 2. We can do sound mode. That's 3. And we can do keyboard color. That's 4. And I believe we can also change the output transistor and do the output power mode to make it more powerful than 5 watts. Also, people can come here and do a CB mode, hardware CB mode, maybe. That's a possibility also. But again, everything comes down to firmware. There is no point in doing hardware CB modes if the radio is not able to transmit on the CB frequencies. Can it transmit on CB frequencies?
0, 2, 7. 0, 2, 7, 1, 0, 0. Cancel.
It cannot. So that's that. One thing I like about this radio is this button. You know how Kwangshank from the factory has that big button, and you stick it in your pocket and it turns on, it lives its own life. We here replaced the button from Baofeng. This button is even better. It is smaller, and I wish they would sell this button on AliExpress. I'd definitely buy some of these buttons and use them on Kwangshank. Excellent button. Another thing, someone who's going to have to either come up with a product or 3D scan the battery and make a battery case. This size is perfect, guys. It's ideal. The only thing is that we have to take this case apart so that we can upgrade it with larger batteries. So if someone would please come up or 3D scan stock case and make it printable, or come up with a product and sell it on AliExpress, that'd be excellent. Another obvious thing, I wish, I pray, I hope manufacturer of TIDRADIO H3 DAS is release the firmware, source for the firmware, as I release it or leak it, so that we can do some magic with this radio. In terms of sales figures, I think if you guys release the firmware, sales are going to not double, perhaps triple or quadruple. It's going to be this good. So if you guys want to see some mods, some hardware mods on this radio, we are definitely going to do them. Subscribe to my channel. Let me show you how to find my channel. Just type in search Codernov and click the search button, and that's it. That's my face right there. You click on my channel and you click the subscribe button. I don't have, because it's my channel, but you click the subscribe button and we are going to have content on TIDRADIO H3 as well. Excellent radio in my opinion. If you want a compact radio with a large battery life, excellent transmit receive characteristics, sensitive, it's more sensitive, pinch more sensitive than K5, the color display, and ergonomically small compact radio that you can throw it in your pocket and go to forest, whatever. TIDRADIO H3 is excellent choice. And I forgot to mention that it is simple, it's Bluetooth capable, so on your iPhone or Android phone or tablet, you just connect it via Bluetooth and you can edit channels, or you can connect it via Bluetooth to a computer, and in your web browser you can edit channels. Plus you can connect it via USB Type-C to a computer, connect it to chirp and edit channels. Plus you can use your Baofeng cable, the beloved Baofeng cable, and do it the old school way. Plus we're gonna do some mods on this radio, so definitely purchase this radio. I am impressed by it. The only thing I don't like about this radio is that the firmware source code for the firmware is closed. Guys, please release it, leak it so that we can get it, right? And this radio is gonna take off even better. So where to purchase this radio? First of all, guys, on TIDRADIO.com official website. If you are in Europe or United States, this is a better option because they offer a cheaper price than on AliExpress, because on AliExpress they have to list the product, etc. So just go to TIDRADIO.com and here you can purchase this product for $29.99, and you can choose different colors: black, green, crystal, and you can also purchase in different colors with 2 batteries plus antenna plus earpiece. Antenna is 771, that's a long one. Let me show it to you. So this 771 air whip. I mean, we're familiar with this antenna. Another place to purchase is on AliExpress. I'm going to provide the links for the website and AliExpress and the product in the video description. But on AliExpress seller is TIDRADIO official, and here you can choose a color, black one. That's one that we have right here. clear one. I would like to have a clear one, because with a clear one you can actually change keyboard color to something fancy, and it's going to light up like a Christmas tree. And something that they call green, but that is obviously not green, that is salad. I think that's a salad or lime. It's like poisonous green. It's green, really green. And it ships to my country, guys. It could ship from China or express, that be from Moscow, drop shipping from Moscow to Sochi to my town, that be like a couple of days. And plug standard is Euro, British, American. Yeah, so I'm going to leave a link to AliExpress and the website of TIDRADIO official, and if you want to do some mods on this radio, definitely subscribe to my channel. A link to my channel is also going to be in the description. So guys, let's draw a situation like this. Let's say tomorrow I'm going to go hunting with my buddies. Which radio I'm going to take, this one or TIDRADIO H3? Definitely TIDRADIO H3, because battery is larger, and it could last up to 48 hours, whereas Kwangshank is going to last maximum from the morning until the evening, and then you have to charge it. Plus TIDRADIO H3 ever so slightly less bulkier. It's not bulky at all, it is compact. You can stick it in a pocket, any pocket on my jeans, whatever. And when you go into forest, you're gonna have your backpack with food, ammunition, everything, right? You're gonna have your gun. And this radio, even though it's not bulky, but it's not small either, whereas TIDRADIO H3 is compact and the battery outlasts Kwangshank. So I'm definitely going to take TIDRADIO H3 into forest. So the bottom line is, it's not expensive, it's good, and it lasts you. So get this radio. Plus we are going to do some mods on my channel, and if you enjoy doing mods, definitely get this radio. So guys, this is it for this video. If you enjoyed watching it, press the like button please, and if you haven't subscribed yet, press that subscribe button and hit the bell notification to receive notification for new videos, and I'm going to see you in next video. Bye bye.